Come on, you've got to have the rising action of the story, the climax,
you know what?
the falling action.
This isn't... Okay, so moving on. I think Screw Loose here has a question. We'll be moving on to...
We'll be moving on to whoever Sheva says is next, to be honest with you.
Screw Loose here. She pointed to Screw Loose, so he's next. Screw Loose, what the hell do you want?
You have many stories, but I want to hear the story of the Applejack cake. Yes.
Oh my God!
And I'd like to ask, do we have any way of seeing show and tell on this?
One, to answer that on show and tell, hell no. Two, for the story of the Applejack cake. The first BronyCon, and I mean the convention BronyCon, that Mitch Larson, as you guys all know and love, attended, it was his birthday weekend. And to surprise him, Josh here, who was head of PR, deputy head, or...
Let's face it, head of PR.
Wait, who was the actual head that you just insulted?
His name is Logan.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that because he deserves it. You were the deputy head at the time.
That's very true. I was the deputy head at the time.
So anyways, the Applejack cake was initially Josh's idea. Josh likes to whore himself out, to say nicely. That's actually not a nice way to say it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
But damn, do you like to talk? So anyways,
you're one to talk.
You know what? That's okay.
Let him tell his story.
That's okay. So anyways, Josh here decides to talk to Charm City Cakes in Baltimore. As you guys know, they run the show. I think it's Ace of Cakes.
Yes.
They run Ace of Cakes. He gets a cake from Charm City Cakes, from the show Ace of Cakes, to do a birthday cake for Mitch Larson. It was a Applejack with a little bit of a background. And, well, that night, I myself had much to drink. To say nicely. And, well, Applejack was torn to bits. Applejack was a 3D model with styrofoam, and there was some what is it called?
That was styrofoam, not confetti.
No, it's fondant.
Fondant, yeah, fondant.
Fondant. You know what? At this point, close enough. It was a layer of fondant, and I really like sugar and vibrating into a new plane of existence in terms of devouring sugar. So I guess you could say that I ate Applejack.
You, sir, went full on Walking Dead on that thing.
So the parts that Fulner isn't telling about that story.
isn't telling about.
Look, if I'm gonna be up here, I'm gonna give you so much shit.
Do it.
So.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Leviosa.
I'm so sorry.
But
I still
so yeah, as Fulner mentioned, the cake had a 3D styrofoam Applejack.
I did say that it was an Applejack and styrofoam, but
the parts that he's not really mentioning was him, and I want to say maybe about 3, maybe 4 other BronyCon staff members literally took the styrofoam Applejack and took them by each of the hooves and just ripped them off in this really kind of hilarious manner, but at the same time was kind of creepy.
The best way to describe it was, if this was a zombie movie, we really tore the legs off of this person.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not innocent either. I took a bite out of Applejack's ass that night.
That is... Sarah, you can wait.
This is kind of a Lord of the Flies type thing. Did you then sharpen a stick on both ends and stick the head on it and be like...
Actually...
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
I think that did happen.
Yeah.
So long as they didn't call me what they used to call me at school, they used to call me Applejack. No.
Man, you just had me have flashbacks to when I read Lord of the Flies. Holy shit, Snags.
They actually did used to call me Piggy.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No, but I have a connected story about the cake. Can I tell a story?
Yes, you are more than welcome to tell me a story about the
story?
connected cake.
Well, it's
Because I made sure that you were to be a part of that.
Well, I appreciate that. And Josh Dean, I was in the audience. It was during the writers' panel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was during the writers' panel.
So Mitch was there. Who
He
else
did
was
say
there?
that.
Who else was there? Mitch was there. Come on, I'm asking. Who else was there?
Yeah.
It was Mitch, Amy, Jillian was there.
Yeah.
Gillian, sorry. Just in case she's here. And there was one other person who Oh, Megan was there as well.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway, so I'm sitting in the audience and I get a text from you, Josh, saying, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Okay, hi, what's going on?" And he's come backstage. Okay, I'll walk backstage. He's like, "Oh, we're going to present this cake to
Because he's
Mitch."
like, oh shit, I get to walk backstage.
Yes, I felt so special. It meant so much to me. What I didn't realize was that I was being it wasn't just that you wanted me sort of involved, it was, we want you to help push the cake in and then pull the cake out and then push the cake halfway through the damn convention center and into the elevator and up to the green room.
And then
Now-
suddenly you were in my department and I made sure that you were there.
Full papers, I really do appreciate your manual labor.
Well, no,
I really do.
What you don't realize about the manual labor is that I had been up the previous night for several hours, imbibing more than was good for me of this.
That's mine, no.
No, I'm gonna have your Long Island.
No, Zabrankico
Half of-
gets one for you.
Half of mine disappeared.
Josh, sorry. Panel, give him that. I'll hand him another one.
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
The story, anyway, there really isn't a story here, aside from the fact that it's a miracle I didn't pitch head first into the cake.
Well,
I was incredibly hungover at the time, you see.
That's okay because I totally knew that.
You weren't there.
At the initial cake,
No, you weren't there for the drinking.
for the
I have a picture of,
in the green room.
No, but, oh, never mind.
I have a
Yes.
picture.
It's all getting very confused up
For
here.
the initial drinking, no, but when you came to the green room, oh, honey, please, I was very, yes.
I have pictures.
You are in my territory.
I don't think I was stumbling per se. I
You
was
weren't.
taking steps with great care, let's put it that way.
You were taking steps with such great care. It was adorable.
Awkward silence.
Okay, so
You guys want to see the picture? Full or silence?
is that?
Yeah, I have no more story. No more story for
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm embarrassing you. Well,
What
I
else
guess
is
that's
new?
what happens as I drink more and more of a Long Island. I think after Screw Loose, Chris.
No, it was Sarah.
Here's the thing, Sarah actually knows you, but there are people here who came to see you from great lengths. From great lengths.
Behind people, I can't see who's waving.
I came all the way from
Oh
people-
man, it's kind of a push.
Because
Because they both know you.
All right, so but the fact that she knows Sarah,
It's a good question. Yay! Yes.
is it for me or is it for the group?
It's kind of for the whole group, I guess.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good.
It is not a humiliating question.
Yet.
Damn it.
Damn.
Tell it, Cookie Monster. Okay. It is how would you describe your first pony convention?
How would I describe my first pony convention?
For each and every one of you.
For each and every one of. Okay, so
Wait,
Basically-
how would we describe our
your
first pony
first
convention?
pony convention.
For each and every one of them as one of us?
No.
Okay.
For each and every one of us, describe your first pony convention. Okay, so my first pony convention was BronyCon January. That's where I got roped in to do security, and then from there I went to do VIP relations. To kind of go a little bit further, when I first showed up on site, I had met up with my commanding officer with the Air Force for search and rescue in the Northeast region. We were going to have some breakfast, and I had texted the person who was the chief of security at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I can show up on time in my uniform, or I can show up late in your uniform." In this case, it was a BronyCon shirt and whatever the hell I wanted to wear as pants. If I wanted to wear boxers, maybe it would have been allowed, but you know what? I wasn't going to test the waters. So I wore pants. But anyways, I had my Air Force duties at the first hand, and I showed up in my uniform at BronyCon January for the Air Force, and was it a regulatory problem? Yes.
People were saluting you. I remember that.
I wouldn't let them salute me because I would go ahead and say that I work for a living and you don't need to salute me. I think at the time I was a master sergeant, but But so at BronyCon January, it was honestly when I first showed up, I really didn't expect to work for the VIPs. I didn't expect to work with Nicole. I didn't expect to work with Ashley. I didn't expect to work with Andrea. I was told on site, they're like, "You look like a guy that can handle this." And I was like, "All right, I'm okay with this." And I worked with Andrea, I worked with Nicole, and I worked with all of them. And they requested me back for the next year. And after BronyCon January, that's how I became the head of VIP relations for BronyCon June. They were just like, "No, you want us back? You need to call back Funna." And I was like, well, shit, that's flattering. Because at the end of the day, they're just like you and me. They put their pants on the same way.
No, they don't.
Mitch doesn't.
Yeah,
He
no.
does this weird acrobatic thing.
Full Papers puts on Mitch's pants one leg at a time. Not Mitch.
So for me, that was my first pony convention, was actually BronyCon January, when I became BronyCon staff, and then I'm getting too old for this shit.
Ah.
Still working as BronyCon staff. So I guess I'll go ahead, because screw you, Josh. I'm gonna move on to Full Papers because I like him more.
That's okay. I'm just gonna drink this drink that I stole back from you.
Wow.
You know what? I have an entire flask of scotch.
You have it on lease.
It's not
Isn't
gonna
that
be
liquor?
there.
Shut up, baby. You love me.
I'm trying to remember the question.
It
This was first Brony convention, right?
Your first Brony
Okay,
convention.
that would have been BronyCon September 2011.
Oh, that was
Wow.
That was it was this little sort of warehouse industrial setting, white latex paint on the walls in Chinatown in New York.
Oh my god!
Really great dumplings and noodles around the corner. That was fun.
I
But
know, right? Oh my.
it was like what, 250 people-ish max?
Sure as hell wasn't a
300?
lot.
Okay.
Also, for the record, that is the only BronyCon that has ever had an open bar.
There was an open.
Oh my god, Josh, you know what we need to do? We need to have an open.
No.
There was an open bar and no one told me. There was also pizza and I didn't get any, and I'm still sore about that.
You know what?
Oh, fair enough. Okay, that's why I didn't get any.
If there's an open bar and open pizza, please, you are for me. You can be my +1.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh.
Wasn't Daniel England
I feel
the guest
cheated
for that?
on.
He Skyped in.
Oh
Jason
no,
Thiessen.
that was BronyCon January when he Skyped in and it was.
He Skyped in January. Okay,
Yeah,
then
no,
it was
it-
Jason
that
Thiessen
was
and
a-
Pixel Kitties and Sethisto were the guests at September 2011. I have the poster. It's quite fun. No, that was good fun. That was sort of my first exposure to this fandom, and I have many fond memories of that. So yeah, I have no fun stories about BronyCon September 2011. Sorry.
As long as you
Except
enjoy
that I didn't get the pizza.
I tell you what.
Hey,
And I blame you.
as much as you want to blame me, it doesn't work out.
I'm not going to blame you.
He's blaming Zabranki, which is probably
blaming
justifiable.
Zabranki.
I am so glad that hashtag blame Full Papers caught on as it did.
Bugger off.
Bugger off. You love it. Shut up.
Where are you guys going? You guys can't leave.
Liar.
No,
Get
it's okay.
back here this instant. I did not give you leave to leave.
I know who it is. I love them.
Still come
That's
back.
the voice of authority.
So anyway, so you were telling your story before I like drunkenly interrupted it.
No, again, I had no story. There was no plot involved. There was no rising action, falling action. There was all.
Not.
It was
More
sort of a
like
meandering
books.
explanation of what the paint looked like in the warehouse. That was it.
Warehouse? Wait, what?
It was warehouse space. It was sort of industrial, and there was white paint everywhere.